So hi, what's up, guys, and welcome to my channel. NER. Yeah, so basically me talking about like a church thingy. Like always, no, when for me, the most easiest thing to say about is wow, I'm complaining. So I don't mean that nothing is good, but let me complain. Yeah. So basically, yeah, I'm much more like a manageable coordinator. So like I'm just helping, yeah. So it's not a team leader or something like a leader positions. Yeah, no, not like that. So just much more like a helper. So it's much more like okay, they are telling me that you need to support like a Malaysia Chombo thingy. Yeah. Somehow I also volunteer for it. And somehow like well they're trying to asking me to go into a meeting, so at first I just thought that yeah, nothing I can do, right? Because people already educated, at least they are well educated, so they just pretend they don't listen or anything. Yeah. and and somehow I found really annoying, to be honest. Okay, so basically I just get into it. When they ask me to do the report, I would just say that okay, yeah, so this is the result up onto right now. So the centers like according to the center, so this like the witnessing result onto it. So yeah, people please trying to witness, trying to tell like the members more and try to encourage them to join as well. Yeah, and if you can do it, I will be really appreciated. And somehow waiting for such a long time and somehow no one is trying to say anything, so yeah, I just end it. Yeah, because it seems like people don't have any questions. But during that time suddenly, like right after I just mute my mic, and somehow like the MC, I mean he's good, like because he tried to add on to it, but at the same time because of his add on, and it just make me a little bit realize onto something that I'm not expecting. So basically, what he says is that, oh yeah, so this time the girl itself is also like for the Johnson for True Mother. So yeah, we should try to mobilize more people together. To be honest, in my heart, when I heard about it, I'm like, I thought this is something normal, or we are supposed to know at the very first sense, right? And when we're trying to connecting all the dots and the line together, we are supposed to know everything like this, right? And instead of like I need to talk to the leaders like a, like the like a babysitting them, and like giving them every information, like spoon feeding them. Oh, I need to give them unto that extent, and so somehow that's what I was truly like surprised. I mean, in the previous video, I did talk about like the stupidity of our church leaders somehow. I mean, because of the system, then somehow because of it, and they become much more easy to become much more like a blind follower. So they just blindly follow from time to time, and that's not good, but somehow it just happened. Yeah. So I'm not saying that I want to change anything, but I just say that something it just happened. Yeah. So yeah, things just keep on happening in this way. Yeah. So yeah, well, I try to look onto it, and like last time I did talk about the accountability, and I did talk about like we should open for debates and everything. But at the same time, I think there's an issue right here is about the personality. So this time, yeah, maybe it's much more like an MBTI content, to be honest. So when we try to look to the certain MBTI type of people, and we try to look onto the our church structure. So usually the people who will stay inside the church and become a leader actually are those either they are subconsciously idealist or they are unconsciously idealist. So usually it come in this way. And yeah, for sure, like for those people who are already idealists themselves, so yeah, sure, they are really accessing like their idealist concept from time to time, and they don't really let go. Yeah, so the idealist issue coming right here is that when we try to look at their study, like we say the TE function onto it. So where the TE function coming in is from like always is binding together with the SI. So binding together with the SI itself, and if you're trying to combining it and trying to understanding onto it, so it's much more like they are trying to only learn from where they are comfort. So in an easy sense, is that okay? If you want them to learn, you need to have a very strong trust from them, and they treat you as a upper hierarchy. Is that they treat you as a higher hierarchy? Yeah, it's the upper hierarchy. You don't really train them like or give them lesson with a lower hierarchy. For them is not working because the SI is working right there. Remember, it's the SI, the internal sensing itself, who love the hierarchy so much, the function that love hierarchy so much, and it's working. And so then when they try to learn onto something, or they are being asked to learn onto something, they have no choice. They will just only learn from their memory. They will only learn from what they was taught when they were a kid. Why is coming from a kid? Because like during the kid time, you have most of your memory, and if you try to look onto the memory itself, like the memory from a kid's day is going like a most percentage onto it. If you one day as a very long day, and compared to now itself, like you feel like one day is like passing so quick, and maybe I just try to relax or not even relax. I try to just waste the time a little bit, and the time just shoo, like everything just gone, disappear. Yeah, so when you are learning with this basis itself, basically you're heavily relying to like what you were taught when you were a kid. So combining with the phenomena or the background of our church member, a lot of time they come to the church not because they are happy in their life, but they are not happy in their life. But at the same time, when this bunch of people, they are much more easy to become the leaders because they are either the follower or they are just the basically, I would say, single-minded idealist. They come into a church, they will become the church leader because they have a lot of passion onto it. And the only way they can learn onto it is that they can only refer onto their kids' side. And because of this kind of situation, it becomes such a headache onto us. So whenever like let's say the time period when True Father passed away and suddenly True Mother become the leader. So a lot of the leaders in the past era, so they were trying to accuse True Mother. Just think about it. Why? Like in common sense, you already know that True Mother will be the one who will just leading everything, but they still can't accept onto it. Why? Because when they're coming in, their comfort zone is telling them, keep on telling them, is that True Father, Sun Myung is the only one who is the Messiah. No one really teaching that theory. Like, I mean, okay, maybe somebody teaching that theory for those leaders who already like have a how should I say self thoughts or like a self conclusion, self results. Yeah, it's not surprising if they are higher upper leader. Yeah, True Father always trying to give people like chances, but it's not that always what they do are correct. Yeah, and when we try to look into it, uh, yeah, so they can't change anything. Yeah, they just keep on back to the concept that the concept that they thought is correct or like they think is much more comfortable. Is that oh, we are not supposed to say that True Mother is the Messiah. We are supposed to say that oh, True Mother is just a shadow behind True Father. Yeah, that's the most bullshit thing that you can ever hear. Like if you know about like a divine principle, and but then you don't even use your brain to trying to do like a critical thinking. Yeah, that is totally like a bullshit, I would say. Yeah. So yeah, there are small things as well, and just like a lot of time inside our church, a lot of people, if you're trying to notice onto it, whenever they talk about sex, they were just trying to hide away. And when they're trying to hide away itself, they would just put up a reason. Yeah, if you're trying to question them, and they would just put up the reason. The reasoning into it easy. It's repetitive. It's not supposed. It's not comfortable to talk about it. It's not supposed to talk about it. It's not supposed to talk like talk about it when yeah, just you and me. Yeah, And when you try to bring out like a true father's word itself, they will try to defend themselves. Why they need to defend themselves? So look back onto their characters. The only way they're trying to think or like trying to learn is from their comfort zone. So right now you already like take away their comfort zone. So basically no way for learning, no way for debate. The debate is only coming on the one side. The one side debate itself is only their own thinking, and the only thing they want to win during that debate is no longer information or fact check, is about emotion. So you see, like the people who are in the LGBTQ community, yeah, they are also saying they have a lot of idealists, and a lot of them that they are either like unconsciously is idealist, or like unconsciously, yeah, it's idealist. Um, they dye their hair. They try to show something. Yeah, like even they dye their hair itself. Actually, it's an expression of like, yeah, this is what I think. This is what I feel. So why do you bother onto me? The internal thinking is trying to prove onto something onto themselves. So that's why they need to put something onto themselves, keep on reminding, and visually very effective, or like a very, how should I say, eye catchy, yeah, kind of thing, and to show that, yeah, I'm part of this group, yeah. So guess how the group of the army is being formed? The ESTJ, ISTJ, or like even the ESTP will be usually the strong army that just suddenly appear. Like when I mean strong, it doesn't mean that they are really persistent. Like their persistency is not really working, but it's much more like that's how their performance was being like like trying to be shown as a talent. Yeah, I was saying this way, like to be shown as a talent. It is a very interesting part of how people trying to look onto it. And the idealist itself, like LGBTQ community, come back to it, and yeah, people basically want to say that I'm poor and everything, and they're trying to just relax and trying to just be fat. Like just think about the fat feeling about it. You don't need to do anything, right? And basically you're trying to get back to a situation that when you are a baby, when you're fat enough, and somehow you still feel loved by other people, and that's how they are trying to proving their self-value. Like it sounds stupid because it's actually two different systems, that you're inside the family and also like in the society, and the society is not supposed to be a place for you to just always feel family. You can try to be a little bit more kind, but at the same time you need to be mindful that it's not, the society is not formed by your own people. Maybe your own people is majority, but at the same time, how long can you stay with that majority? Yeah, nothing can really last for like forever if you're trying to understand it this way. So yeah, so the idealists a lot of time like come in this way, and that's how they form the problem, the situations. But yeah, so come back to the story that I told in the very beginning of the story. I mean of this video. So yeah, basically how the Malaysian leaders were being. I mean, mostly most of them idealists. Unfortunately, I would say unfortunately, because yeah, like they can't really just uh suddenly just change a batch of people, because it just looks too ridiculous, or like too intellectual. And if our church suddenly change into a very intellectual way, a lot of people will just don't accept it. A lot of people, yeah. So that's the big issue, very big issue. So yeah, so that's why, like, to change it, to have a revolution onto it in our inside our church is a very long path. And somehow, yeah, let's see what we can do. And basically the only way to do like a to do changes right now, from what I know, spoon feeding. Yeah. Emotionally and also like intellectually, I need to keep on spoon feeding them. I cannot just think that they are like the maybe like a university student, or like even like a secondary school student. I need to really keep on like spoon feeding onto them. Yeah. So yeah. So that's why becoming a leader itself, or somehow sometimes you need to, yeah, be mindful. Yeah, maybe there are people who need to spoon feed you, and that basically means that, yeah, they they know that they can't really rely on to you for this period of time. I didn't mean that forever, yeah, but this period of time, unless you start to learn and you start to grow. But yeah, usually it also means the hard time onto you. So yeah, that's why a lot of time we just trying to wait. Yeah, no waiting period is annoying, but yeah, it's necessary somehow. Yeah. So I don't know, should I put in as a sharing thought or the MBTI? But I think MBTI will be working. Mm. So yeah. Yeah. So when I just talk about the idealist, it doesn't mean that the intellectual have no problem. But I mean, just trying to show the more obvious thing that people just much more easy to relate onto their life. So yeah, if one day I know about like like I have a bunch of series of like oh yeah, what's the problem of the intellectual? Yeah, I can talk about it, but it's much more harder for me. Yeah, basically I would say that the blindness of my sight. Yeah. So anyway, see you then. See ya.